Hole in a Box by C.S.R.
Chapter 24. Wheelchairs and Their Owners. Marla was tired and sleep-deprived. She practically went 2 days with no sleep, but she still was cheerful, which was quite unusual for her. Even though it was still summer, Marla dressed herself in her black turtleneck, blue jeans, and red sneakers. She had a skip in her step that she glided across the hallways with.
Marla?
Miss Adele's calm voice called out. The young girl still looked shaken from the previous night, but managed to gain her poise.
Yes, Miss Adele?
Marla responded nervously.
I need you to wait by the payphones in front of the headmaster's office, please.
Marla's face was struck with fear.
Am I in trouble?
No, trust me, you really want to be there right now.
Miss Adele gave Marla a wink and slipped away. Marla's feet suddenly felt heavy with anticipation as she carried herself to the headmaster's office. Her eyes were glued to the floor until they had seen something unfamiliar in front of her. Marla took a close look and saw a wheelchair sitting right in between the payphones and a bench that had a bag on it. In that wheelchair was a young woman of dark complexion, humming silently to herself. She looked very frail and had no hair on her head, but despite that, she looked incredibly beautiful. The woman was stitching into some fabric. Marla suddenly felt shy and didn't know if she should speak to her or not. The woman saw Marla in the corner of her eye and smiled.
Hello there.
She spoke with a soft yet firm voice.
How are you?
Marla got very nervous and tongue-tied. She tried to answer.
I am Marla. Confused. I'm okay.
Marla got very silent and buried her face into her hands in embarrassment. She looked up at the woman, who softly laughed to herself.
How are you?
I would say I'm pretty good. I am Elena, by the way. And you are Marla, was it?
Marla blushed and nodded her head.
That's my nickname. My real name is Marlenia.
Ooh, that's very pretty. Sounds like a name for a princess from a fairy tale.
You really think so?
Of course. Marla is a nice name too, but it's not the name that matters, right?
Under her breath, Marla whispered.
What's in a name?
Pardon?
Oh, nothing. I was just quoting Shakespeare. You know, Romeo and Juliet. What's in a name? Yeah.
Marla looked at the floor, feeling embarrassed again.
Do you like Shakespeare?
Yes, I love to read in general, but Shakespeare's one of my favorites.
Isn't it hard for a young girl like you to understand?
Not really. Well, at least for me. I caught on pretty quickly. All the other kids can't make sense of it, though. That's one of the reasons why they say I'm weird.
Not that there's anything wrong with being different, but that's just rude of them to do. If I saw children picking on you or anyone else, I'd give them what for.
Elena's torso sprang up in her wheelchair as she took a fighting stance with her fist.
But you're in a wheelchair.
Well, then I could just run them over then, can't I?
I guess you could.
Elena started laughing.
Of course I wouldn't really hurt anyone. I don't believe violence should ever be a solution or an answer to people's problems.
Marla smiled.
I agree. You wouldn't want someone to manhandle you, right?
Right.
Elena smiled at Marla again. She had such a peaceful face and welcoming eyes.
So, what are you doing here?
Waiting for my husband.
What is he doing here?
Signing papers and legal documents, I suppose. I would be with him, but they didn't exactly have enough space for my wheelchair. So I said I'd wait here. Why are you here?
In the orphanage or in this hallway?
Both.
But then Elena became silent and bit her lip.
Well, only if you want to answer that. I realize there can be a painful reason for being in an orphanage.
I'm in this hallway because I was told to come here, and I'm at this orphanage because no one else wanted me.
I'm sure there's someone who wants you.
I don't know.
Marla mumbled, her voice getting softer. Elena made a sorrowful face and looked at Marla, who was facing the floor.
Why are you in a wheelchair?
Oh, well...
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's not like that. It's just complicated is all. I have a lot of medical conditions, so my body just isn't as strong as it used to be.
Is that also why you have no hair? Chemotherapy?
No, nothing like that either. Well, at first I had to shave my head for the procedure, but I choose to shave it now. It can grow back whenever I want it to.
Oh.
So you like books?
Marla looked back at her.
Yes?
What's your favorite book?
Right now, I'd have to say that I'm really into this book called A Night in Eternity by Little Hamilton.
That just came out, right?
Yeah, but I already fell in love with it so fast.
Well, that's good that you're passionate about it. Speaking of stories, did you ever come up with an end for yours?
Mine?
The one with the orphan girl who finds another world.
Oh, well, kind of. She goes back to the other world and confronts her friends and the monster that is making him do the bad things. She actually realized that the one who was behind the scenes is just as hurt and in need of a friend. So she gives him what he never had, and everything goes nicely for them. She's allowed to go back to the monster's world whenever she wants without fear. I'm just not sure how it should end.
Sounds like it's ended, though.
Well, I don't know if she gets adopted or not.
Marla and Elena stood in silence until Marla gasped in surprise and realization.
Wait a minute. How did you know about my story?
Marla,
Called out the cheerful voice of Hamilton, cutting her off.
I see that you met my wife Elena.
Little Hamilton? What are you doing here?
Well, Marla, how would you like, how?
Elena rolled her eyes and cut her husband off, saying,
How would you like to be a part of our family? What do you say? Want to be a Hamilton?
Marla gasped.
I never really got an answer from you last time, but I thought I saw you say yes with your eyes. And Elena and I will try to be the best parents for you. I know we don't have much to offer, but...
Yes! Yes, I want to be your daughter.
I'm so happy! Oh, before I forget,
Hamilton reached into the bag on the bench and grabbed a grey velvet top hat from it.
this is for you.
He placed it on Marla's head.
So, do you think you have an idea of how you want to end your story?